Everyone. I don't know what's happened to our share button, but our share button is gone. Does any do you guys have a share button? Anybody there in the audience right now? Do you have your share button? Because our share button has been removed for some reason. What is going on? Anyway, so anybody else see that their share button is gone? Put it in the chat. If you see, if you have yours or if you don't have yours, put it in the chat. Let us see what's going on with that. Okay. So we can see if it's just us or if it's somebody else. You know what? Stuff is, let me see here if it's somewhere else. Let me see if it's under the dots. Maybe they moved it. Kenyatta, what do you think? Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Miss Kenyatta.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure this out. There's nothing on it on Google. So we're just going to rock out, and I'm going to reach out to some other people to see if they notice the same.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. And I am the official lender of the P.I.L.L method family, which means not only can I help you locate a great deal, and I see a whole bunch of them every day, but I can actually help you purchase it and finance the rehab on that project, cancel the interest by way of the P.I.L.L method, so we can get you in yet another property. So happy to have you here. Go ahead and ping a friend you really want to.
All right, folks, listen, we're going to get started here this morning. And the question that's on the table right now, the question that's on the table right now, are landlords smarter than the banks? All right. And here's what I need to ask. And you can put this in the chat. Okay. Are landlords smarter than the banks? Every now and then, all right, there are people who have rented. If you have ever rented a house or an apartment, if you've ever rented a house or an apartment, please put a number. Could you put a number 1 in the chat? Put a number 1 in the chat. If you've ever rented a house or an apartment, go ahead and put a number 1 in the chat. Okay. So yeah, Kenyatta put number 1 in the chat. How about anybody else? If you rented a house or an apartment, put a number 1 in the chat. All right, go ahead. And the reason why I'm asking this is, okay, we got a Facebook user that says, yeah, they put a number 1 in here. Thank you, Facebook user. And here's what I want to ask folks. In the years that you've rented, every now and then has, and Lena says, we put a number 1 in there too. Thank you, Lena. She's on YouTube. So folks, here's what I want to ask. Has your landlord ever lowered your rent? I mean, you know, every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years, every 5 years, every year, whatever it is, have they ever lowered the rent? Put a yes or a no. If they've ever lowered the rent, put a yes or a no. Okay. Has your landlord ever lowered the rent? Said, you know what? You know, we it's just absolutely not. What? So that has never happened. That has never happened. Wow. So folks, we are, I want to be able to go over this particular question because of this. All right. Every now and then, if you have a mortgage, all right. So if you have a mortgage, put a number 2 in the chat. If you have a mortgage now, put a number 2 in the chat. If you have a mortgage. All right. If you have a mortgage or ever had a mortgage, put a number 2 in the chat. All right, let's see here. All right, good. Now, every now and then, about every 5 to 7 years, do you get offers to save money and lower the interest rate? Do you ever get offers to refinance to save money. Lower your payments. Okay. Have you ever received an offer to lower your payments and okay, Kenyatta says yes. All right. Anybody else? All right. Have you ever received an offer to refinance? All right. Carpe Diem says yes, 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 yes. All right. So here's what I'm asking, folks. Here's what I'm asking. If your landlord has never lowered the rent, why would your bank, I mean, your mortgage company, your very own mortgage company that has you locked in at a higher interest rate, why would they ever offer to lower your payments, save you money, lower your interest rate? Why do banks lower payments, but landlords do not? That's what we're going to be getting into today. So here's the question I have for you. If you're saving money by refinancing, now listen very closely. If you're saving money by refinancing your mortgage, who has to be losing money? If you're saving money, I need you to put that in the chat. If you're saving money, who has to be losing money? All right. Anybody who wants to put that in the chat? If you're saving money, who has to be losing money? I know it's hard. I know it's hard. All right. Facebook user says the bank. Facebook user says the bank. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else say the bank has to be losing money if you're saving money? You know why it's hard? You know why I'm not seeing very many? You know why? Kenyatta, you know why I'm not seeing very many
I know why.
Responses to that? Because people just don't want to say the bank is losing money on that deal. If you're saving money, then the bank would have to be losing money. And everybody knows that the bank ain't losing money on this deal. So why are they offering us? Listen, folks, start pinging some people in here. All right. We have the ping function. You can still invite other folks in. But right now you want to be able to get people in here to hear this. Why in the world are landlords smarter than the banks? Are they? Okay. Or is everybody still making money? Oh my goodness. We've got to talk about that today. All right. So we're going to get into refinancing. Alina says, the bank. Yeah, the bank would have to be losing money, but everybody knows that the bank ain't losing money on this deal. How is it then a bank can offer us to save money and lower our interest rate, but somehow we feel as if we're saving money? We feel as if everything is working out in our favor, but we also know that the bank is making a ton. What? Okay. All right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. Anybody got any ideas on this? Listen, come up to the stage. I want to hear your ideas on this about banking and saving money. Could you raise your hand and come up to the stage? Anybody? Raise your hand. I want to hear what you've got to say. Is the bank making money? Is the bank losing money on a refinance? We're told that we're saving money, but listen, I want to get your idea in on this. All right. So we got RB, the realtor, in here. So let's invite her up to speak. RB, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, family. How are you?
Excellent.
Good morning, beautiful.
Thank you. Happy to be here this morning.
All right. So listen, all right. So we've got Credit Goddess in the room. We got RB. We've got Kenyatta. Listen, folks, here's the question of the day, RB. Are landlords smarter than the banks? And Credit Goddess. So we just went over. Has your landlord ever lowered the rent? I asked some people if they've ever rented. And every year, or every 2 years, or every 5 years, does the landlord come around and say, you know what? We've been charging too much. We're going to lower the rent. Has anybody ever experienced that, RB or Credit Goddess?
Well, no. Rents don't go down
Rent don't go down.
traditionally, unless it's some family situation, and those are never good. So they typically go up, and you go up to match also, the cost of living in whatever locale you're in. So as the cost of living goes up, which seems to continue to increase, then so will rent.
Exactly, exactly. And that's kind of how I was thinking. But when you have a mortgage, every 5 to 7 years or so, you're going to get notices either in the mail or telephone calls, and it's going to say something like save money, refinance, lower your payments, and somehow the bank makes it sound like we're saving money. We're going to be better off if we refinance. So every now and then, it sounds like we're lowering our payments, where landlords never lower the rents. So that's why I'm asking, are landlords smarter than the banks? Because if we're saving money by refinancing, RB, if we're saving money by refinancing, who has to be losing money? You know, we just went over that. And so people are, they're commenting, banks would have to be losing money, but we know they're not. So this is why I want people to start asking these critical questions when it comes to interest rates, when it comes to saving money. And if your own bank, I need everybody just to tune in on this one for a second. If your own bank, who has you at a higher interest rate, why would they ever call you and say, it's time to lower your interest rate, it's time for you to save money, come in and refi? Why would they ever do that? We're going to get into that just a little bit. Credit Goddess, do you have something to say about this this conversation this morning before we get into the introductions?
Oh no, RB already laid it out.
Okay. All right. All right. So, ladies, why don't we just go ahead?
Hold on, Don. Hold on, Don. I think this is very important. Me and Credit Goddess is back channeling each other and loving on each other this morning.
Okay.
And she just probably fixed the problem. Credit Goddess, you want to let Don know? Because we was trying to figure it out.
Oh, you have the room locked to only your members, Don.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. All right.
That's
Folks,
public.
we and can I do that during the meeting, or do I? Crap. All right. So what do I got to do here? I got to get back in my meeting. I just kicked myself out of my own meeting. All right.
And the official credit expert here at the P.I.L.L Method Crew. I'm a credit score improvement strategist and a business credit consultant. I help my clients improve their credit so they can gain access to other people's money and apply the P.I.L.L method so we can rinse and repeat multiple times in our lifetime. But any of you guys that are interested in my services, the numbers in my bio, send your name and email address to 888-557-5778. That's 888-557-5778. Hey, Don, welcome back.
All right, folks. Here's what we're going to
RB, how about you?
go ahead.
I know for sure she's making the donuts, but she'll get back to us as soon as she can. Okay, Don, you're public. Thank you, Credit Goddess, again.
You're welcome.
So the replays are
Don,
off.
if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Okay, so my replays are off. You know what? I think what I want to do is go ahead. Do you think I should restart the room? Because I need the replays on.
Only if you can start all the way over to for YouTube as well.
I don't need to. I don't need to do. I don't need to do that.
Okay. Well, then, yeah,
We're
go
good
for
there.
it.
We're good there. So, folks, go ahead and you could go ahead and I'm going to set up a new room while you guys are talking, and then we'll pin the link to the new room to the top, and then we'll get going there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to mute.
So go ahead, Credit Goddess or RB, let the people know what you have, kind of expound on it a little bit more while we're waiting.
Yes. So I've been super busy. I'm sure you guys already know because you guys hit me in the back channel like, I know you're busy, Credit Goddess. I know you guys know that. And I am busy, super busy. And what I'm planning to do is to try to reach more people, is to put you guys in a group. So I do have a Facebook group that you guys can join. And this Facebook group is going to have all of the credit repair kit. And also, I'm going to be there to educate you guys. So that way you can kind of put a face to the name. And also, I want this community of us with individuals with good credit, because this is the start of building generational wealth, is when you have access to other people's money. Once you have access to other people's money, you already know opportunities are there. Whether you want to start your own business, whether you want to get into real estate investing. A lot of you guys in this room are up and down in these real estate investment rooms. And although that you may hear that you can get hard money without good credit and things like that, it is still a good opportunity to establish your credit on both personal and business, because that's two buying power. That is a tool in your toolbox. It's not debt. Yes, you do go into debt because instead, if you don't have the money in the bank, of course, you ask the bank, hey, can I borrow your money and I'll pay you back? It's an IOU, you guys. It's not bad. It's bad when you are over leveraging yourself and you're not able to pay back. Is when it becomes bad, is when it starts documenting in your financial resume that you weren't able to pay back in a timely manner, right? But once you have your plans in place, because I talked to many of you guys, and we're not developing a business plan. That business plan is your blueprint on how you're going to start your business from start to finish. And yes, you can edit it as you go, because of course when we are tapping into this idea, it's just an idea, but it unfolds as you start executing and you realize, you know what? This is not working. Let me erase that and let me add this, right? So you need a business plan so that way it can help you guide you through the process of starting your business or starting the real estate investment. Also get a coach, right? But we're not going to talk about that. But I just want you guys to know that I do have a Facebook group that I'm starting, and that
That's
what
amazing.
I know. So I already have like 400 of you guys ready to come in. I will be accepting you guys if many of you guys been waiting, but I just want you guys to all come in with resources and information in the guide section once you go in, with what to do when you get started, right? Then I'm gonna have days where we're scheduled to hop on a live and answer your questions live as you are going through the credit repair process. Yes, I will still be offering the service, and I have my attorney on board. They're going to be doing my credit repair. So that way I can free up more time and teach you guys and guide you guys and hold your hand and celebrate as we level up, right? And then also have the black women get funded too. That's also on a rise. I haven't accepted anyone there because I want to make sure I have the resources. The last thing I will want to happen when you guys come into the group is when you come in and ain't nothing going on, right? So that's the reason why many of you guys been wondering why you haven't been accepted. It's not because I didn't want you to come in. It's just that I didn't want you to come in with nothing there. So that is still in the works. So I just wanted to let you guys know that for sure. And for those of you guys that I promised to send you um, a special offer, I'm still getting that over to you too. So I just want to kind of give you guys all of that update, and bear with me because again, I'm busy. It's only one me. So yeah, that's the update for me. RB, are you there? I don't know if RB there. You know,
Oh,
there she is. RB and I, we're working on building a profitable property. Did I say that right?
building a profitable property.
There we go. She could touch on that. Well, I want you guys to know that we're putting that mastermind or that webinar together. She's going to expound more on it, but I'll be touching on the business credit part because this is going to be a business, and you do want to have business credit so that way you can leverage that to get the supplies, materials, equipment that you need, furniture, whatever that is that you need to do to fund your profitable property. But I'll have RB expound on what that is because this is her vision. Go ahead.
So we're actually going to be getting that together because it's super important that you understand the foundation of anything in business is making sure that your credit is intact. So you not only want to make sure that you have good aspirations and goals in real estate, but you want to make sure your foundation is solid, right? So the only way to do that is to make sure that you have a full understanding of the scope of good credit, both for you as an individual and also for you as a person that is looking to build a business and leverage that credit to attain real estate. So, with that being said, one of the things that we do is we give you all of the basics from A to Z. So, we talk about your credit, right? And just basically the business model, being able to have a plan associated with that. And then once you do obtain a property, understanding how you can produce a profitable property, all of the available space that you have, both inside and outside of the dwelling, no matter whether it's a single family, co op, condo, or multifamily, you're able to produce income off of that. And the only way that you're able to understand how to do that is by getting this background information that we're going to introduce to you in the masterclass that we are establishing right now. We've been working long and hard on it, and we are so excited to be able to present it to you. So stay tuned because within the next, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to have everything ready to go, and then we'll announce the launch date for you guys to be able to participate.
All right, ladies, I'm going to go open up the other room and just click on that link because I'm going to disappear and I'm going to open up the other room as soon as I disappear. Give it about 5 seconds and then jump over in the other room. Thank you. Where's my scheduled room?
Don, you're back.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this fixed. Doggone it. I'm having
Am I in the right room?
yeah, I'm trying to get to
No,
the
you
new
don't know
room.
what's happening. Ping me when you get there.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I think the link is at the top. Hold on.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to get there. Okay. Let's see. Did I do it wrong?
Ice.
All right. Are we?
We still have replays off.
Replays are still off.
And the room is still private.
Oh, come on. What is going on?
You know what? I'll create it for him.
All right.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
I thought I fixed it.
Let me see.
Let me make you moderator so that you're able to.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe that'll help.
Okay. Gotta moderate me too. All right. Is this is the new room, right?
While Credit Goddess is getting that situated, I just want to say hi to some people that I see that is here. David, Professor T, Real Man, Asia, Felicia, Angela, Claude, Carolyn, Natasha, the other Natasha with a J, Azur, Zedekiah, and Marcus. Thank you for being here. Don, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know what happened. I thought I had fixed it.
I know. Well, Credit Goddess is on the job.
Okay. All right, great. Folks, here's what I just want. We're going to have some good information. We just want to make sure that the replays are on. And when I set up the room, I set it up incorrectly. So Credit Guy is going to fix it for us. And then we're going to start the room again and talk about our landlord smarter than the bankers. And we didn't want to get into this with the replays off. So she's setting it up for us. So have a little patience with us. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna pin the new link to the top and get it started.
Can we tell them while we still here what the P.I.L.L method is?
Right. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the P.I.L.L method. It is P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, and leverage and liquidity. And for I don't know, 88 years, the banks have known about amortization. That's when it was introduced 88 years ago. But understanding how interest actually works has not been taught to us. So we're paying 75% more interest than we need to. So we're trying to figure all of this out and make sure that people get the right information on how to cut interest costs by 75%, because we're paying way too much interest. So how can we do that with the money that we're making? So that's kind of what we're working on now, folks, is figuring out how we can get that done. So the P.I.L.L method is all about helping people to understand that with your current budget, you can be out of debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. And that's with your mortgages, student loans, credit cards, everything. We're going to be talking about today our banks, our landlords smarter than the banks. And we're going to be talking about leverage, the leverage part of all of this, and why we are offered from the banks to lower our interest rates and our payments, but landlords never lower the rent. So we're going to talk about that. So I wonder how Credit Goddess is doing setting up the room, because I think she is let's see here, because I don't want to do it if she's doing it. It's going to cause us some problems. So I am so sorry, folks. I am so sorry about this. This is this is episode like number 115 today.
And it hasn't happened before
In 115 episodes.
Yeah. Well, over that done before we were streaming, we have even more shows than that. And
yes.
I would just say that we're just gonna honor this space and time. If you have any questions, raise your hands and we're gonna bring you up while we have time to deal with your specific situation. you have any questions that you've been wondering about any of us, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll bring you up so we could talk about it. We're going to use this time wisely. Okay, so while we're waiting, Don, tell the people what you used to do before the P.I.L.L method.
Well, for 17 years, folks, I was a firefighter and EMT. And while I was a firefighter and EMT, I was paying my bills just like everybody else, not getting very far in paying off mortgages and my credit cards. Somehow I discovered how an amortization schedule. And by looking at that amortization schedule, because I have Asperger's, things look differently to me. My brain is wired differently. So I see things in patterns and in pictures. So when I saw that amortization schedule, my brain saw something different. It's okay, we're paying all of this interest, but if we just do things and set up the timing differently to give the bank their money, we don't have to pay near as much interest. In fact, we can save at the same rate that they're charging us. And so with your current budget, looking at an amortization schedule, I said, let's start teaching people how this actually works. So I started this business, and then a year later, and teaching people how all of this works and how to pay off their debt faster. What I did, I ended my career as a firefighter and started this business full time. I started it part time, because as a firefighter, I would work 24 hours on and I was off for 48 hours. 24 hours on, off for 48. And so in the off 48, I started running this business, and we did this for a full year before ending my career as a firefighter. And this was back in 2007, and we've been going strong ever since. So what's going on with setting up the new room? Credit Goddess, can you hear me?
I can, but it seems like something has changed because the replay button is not available.
Really?
When you're creating it. No, it looks like it's only available when you pop up a room.
Wow.
So, because I don't see the option here.
Wow.
Okay, now, okay, so I'm gonna do this real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
While I'm live with you, I'm gonna create a new event because I couldn't schedule it with the replay option.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it again. Hold
Okay.
on.
So there's a glitch in the program.
Seems like it because I don't see it when you're scheduling it, but I see it when you just create a room.
All right. So folks, we're going to get this. We're going to get it. We're going to get it one way or the other. I promise you.
I'm almost done, you guys. Okay, I'm going to add you guys as a host. Day is today. Host under P.I.L.L.
Okay, we're getting there, folks.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how do we find it in the hallway? You're gonna.
I'm gonna start it.
Okay.
I'm gonna start the room, and
Check
and
it.
once I get in there, I'll put myself back down in the audience, and then
Okay.
you bring me back.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we're starting the new room.
Should we end this one? Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, you guys. I want to let Natasha Joe know that I see your question in the chat. Follow us to the other room and I will ask it for you. And I see you, Miss Renee Powell, as well. We'll get to both of those questions. Thank you.
Hold on here, Kenyatta. I'm gonna pop out here too and see if I can see it in the hallway. So I'll be back.
Okay. Everyone.
Okay.
We're here.
Oh, but
it still say replays is off.
Yes, it still says that. And it's
You want to just rock out today, Don, and then we figure it out later?
all right. Hold on. Doggone it. But and it's locking everybody out of the room. All right, hold on. Let me at least fix that part. Open room to everyone. We'll at least do that. All right. Well, we're just gonna have to operate with the replays off. All right. Let's start sharing the room out in the hallway. And
Absolutely.
for some reason, it's not working the way we want. But we'll just do it this way. We'll just do it this way.
Okay. Can you please mod me so that I could put the
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So, folks, for some reason, it's not working right, but we'll just work with what we have. So go ahead. Let's share the room and get it out there as far as we can. And so, okay, share, copy the link. All right.
Okay. So while we're doing that, Don, I'm gonna go to some of the questions that was in the chat.
Okay.
Before we close the room.
All right.
Okay. So Natasha Joe says, my husband and I are set to close on our new home, and we disagree on buying down points. He wants to wait for the market to level and then refinance. What do you suggest?
All right. Well, we can take a look at that. We can take a look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. So here's what we're talking about here at the P.I.L.L method. What you're working with is the way that the banks have framed this question, and it's framed with 30-year numbers. Okay, it's framed with 30-year numbers. So if you're looking at it this way, if you're looking at it in this way, that if I have a mortgage at this interest rate for 30 years, here's how much interest I'm going to pay. That's it. But what if you have the loan for less than 30 years? Okay, if you have the loan for less than 30 years, is that person in the room right now? Kenyatta?
I believe so. Natasha number one, Natasha number two. Yes, she is. She's here.
Okay. All right. So can we get Natasha to come up to the stage? Is that possible?
I could definitely ask.
Okay. So let's see if we can get her up, because I want to talk about that whole idea. Never buy down the rate. Never ever buy down the rate. And we're going to go over that, but I'd like to have some numbers to actually work with. All right. So that we can understand what's going on here. All right. So we're going to put that on the screen and get that ready and share the screen. All right. And All right. There we go. All right. So we're going to put, so if we can put, Miss Natasha, how are you this morning? If you want to talk, go ahead and click that button, click that mic button in the lower right-hand corner. That will unmute you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. That is fantastic. Fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about your question and I'll give you an answer.
Okay, so my husband and I are disagreeing because I think that it might be important. We do plan on doing like a monthly prepayment, but I still, with the current interest rate, I thought that it was a little high and maybe we should buy it down. Right now, we're locked in at a 4.8, and the amount that we're going to finance is 550. So I thought that it would be decent. He disagrees, so we wanted to bring it to you and see what your perspective was.
Okay. So you got a five.
Where's your husband, Natasha?
Upstairs. He's not.
Go get him. Go get him.
So we have 550,000.
Yes.
Okay. And you're at what interest rate?
4.8.
4.8. Now, are you trying to get, did you buy it to 4.8?
No.
Okay. So that's where it is now. So so you would like it to be lower or higher?
I would like my interest rate to be lower.
Okay. For what reason?
To when we do the prepayment, to have more money go towards the principal on a monthly basis.
Okay. Now let me show you something.
Show him. Show her.
Okay. So the higher the interest, okay.
Downstairs.
What you want is if you want more money to do more work for you, you actually want a higher interest rate, not a lower one.
Okay.
Okay. Can I show? Now you want to be able to see these numbers. Can you actually go to a tablet or a computer so you can actually see these examples?
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. You can go to ice10kvideos.com. ICE10K videos, that stands for Interest Cancellation Expert, the number 10 and the letter K.com. That will take you directly to my YouTube channel. And just click on the live.
And that's for everyone else listening. We can learn from each other. And so go to ice10k videos with the s.com and it'll take you straight to YouTube where you can like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we ask that you use another device such as a tablet, laptop, desktop, so that you can still be a part of the conversation here on Clubhouse.
Okay, I can see.
All right. So I've got on here right now. Here's what I have. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And I'm going to actually put it on you so I can see on YouTube as well what's going on. So we're going to take a look at what this means to have the control interest rates, or do you want to control interest cost? Okay. What you really want is to control interest cost and how you can manipulate that. You say you want to put something on principal on a monthly basis, right?
Yeah.
Number one, we're going to show you where you won't have to put extra money on monthly, but only at strategic times during the year. That's number one. And number two, you want to be in a position where when you put your money on, you know how much interest you're saving. So let me ask you this. If your new mortgage was at 0% interest, 0%, is there any financial benefit to paying it off early?
No.
No. So it's not about the money that you borrowed. It's about how much it's costing you because you want to pay less interest.
Correct.
Okay. It's the interest that's doing that. So let's scroll down. I'm showing here that at let's see, 4.8%, 4.8, the bank wants $488,000 in interest on your loan over 30 years. But that's a 30-year number. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that's 88.88% of what you borrowed in the form of interest. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal over here to the right, is 88%. Who wants to pay that?
Not me.
Not you. All right. So let me show you how a simple way of getting rid of the interest payments that the bank wants you to pay. Okay. Now, in your mind, what would be a better interest rate? What interest rate would you like to have?
Well, I was thinking at least a 3.
At least a 3. Okay. So we're going to show you what would happen with this one. All right. And then hold on for a second. Okay. Open a new tab. And then we're going to duplicate this tab. All right. So I'm going to put the same 550 in at 3% and show you the difference. So I got it up here at 3% and at 4.8%. So we're going to do some comparisons right now. At 4.8%, the principal and interest payment is $2,885.66. So far, that seems pretty high, but if we can afford it, that's great. Now we're going to take a look at 3%. At 3%, the payment is $2,318.82. Oh, the payment is lower. At 3%. If we take a look, if we go back to the 4.8% and look at how much interest the bank wants over 30 years, they want $488,000 in interest at 4.8. At 3%, the bank wants $284,000, but that's over 30 years, and our total interest paid drops down to 51%. Still a lot of money, still too much money. Okay. So now let's take a look at, let's go back to the 4.8, and then this is not the P.I.L.L method. This is just helping you to understand how banking actually works and why. It actually helps us to answer the question: are landlords smarter than the banks? Because banks are always talking about lowering the interest rate, saving money, where landlords are always increasing the rents. They're increasing our payments, but banks want to lower our payments. Why is that? Are the banks losing money here? You follow me?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, here's what we're talking about. In the very first payment, do you see how much money goes to principal?
Yes, I do.
All right, and do you see how much goes to interest?
Yes.
How fair is that?
Doesn't seem too fair.
No, it's not fair. So you're being kind. It's not fair at all. Let's see if we can get Stack Pack up, invite him up to speak. All right, folks. So here's what we're looking at. If you make this payment, let's say we make this payment in January, okay? $685.66 goes to principal, and $2,200 goes to interest. That is a lot of money going to interest, isn't it?
Yeah.
So here's what you need to know. Keep this in mind, and everybody write this down. Interest payments I skip don't matter. What? Interest payments I skip don't matter. Let me give you an example of that. I got a brand new credit card. All right, let's say I got a brand new credit card today. In fact, I've got one coming from American Express. Is supposed to be delivered to my door today. All right, so let's say I got a brand new credit card at 7%. I'm going to put $2,000. I'm going to charge up $2,000 on that credit card this month. I'm going to pay it all off next month. How much interest will I pay? If I pay it all off when they send me the bill. Mr. Tashi, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you shouldn't pay anything if it's before it cycles, right?
There you go. I'm not paying any interest, am I? What if it's 15%?
Well, 15%. Well,
Yeah.
depending on when it cycles, is it still zero?
It's still zero. What if it's 30%?
Same thing.
What if it's 100%?
Oh, that'll be crazy, but still same thing.
Same thing. So it doesn't matter how much interest they're looking for. What matters is how much interest I'll actually end up paying, correct?
Correct.
So I can skip right over the interest that they're looking for by controlling how I pay them.
Okay.
So interest payments I skip don't matter. Keep that in mind, okay? All right. So now, even though you don't want to pay $2,000 in interest, but let's see how we can skip that. So I'm going to show you what would happen if we make our payment in January. I don't owe the bank any more money until February, correct?
Correct.
But if you're looking at this schedule, February's principal payment is how much money?
2,100 almost.
No, that just the principal payment.
Oh, I'm sorry, principal. The principal is going to be 685. That's for January, and then 688 for February.
688 for February. So if I'm making my payment in January, do I have to wait till February to give the bank that $688?
No.
If I had it, could I give it to them in January?
Yes.
All right. So if I did, guess what happens? All of this money, $688.40, goes directly to principal. I don't have to pay any more interest out of this money because I already paid them their interest for January, haven't I?
Yes.
So I'm paid down to line 2 on my mortgage here. I'm paid down to where I owe $548,625.94. So that means my next mortgage payment for February is actually on line 3 of my schedule. So what just happened? For $688, I got rid of line 2, not for the entire amount that they're looking for, which is a payment of what, $28.85. I just got rid of line 2 for only $688.40. It's gone. And my next mortgage payment for February is on line 3 of the schedule. So what happened to the $2,197.26 worth of interest on line 2? What happened to that?
We eliminated it because we paid in advance.
Exactly. We eliminated it. And how much money did it take to eliminate that?
The 688.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, watch. What if we did this? What if we made our payment in January? All right. And we said, ooh, since I did that, what if we gave them on top of that $688.40? I mean, just if we had it, the $691.16 on line 3 and the $693.92 on line 4. If we gave that to the bank in January as well, what would happen to the interest cost on line 2, 3, and 4?
Those would all be eliminated. So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When we make that payment, do you make an additional separate payment and say principal only, or?
Either. Yeah. Either way. You can send it in with your payment or you can send it in separately.
Okay.
You can send it on a different day.
Okay.
So it's called a prepayment. And a prepayment means I give it to the bank before the next payment is due. Okay. So if we did that, all right, if we did that, so we would knock out over $6,000 worth of interest, correct?
Yeah.
And my next mortgage payment for February would be on line 5. Does that make sense?
It does.
So here's, I'm going to show you one last thing, and then we're going to go over to the 3% mortgage. Do you see the column cumulative principal and cumulative interest as column 3 and column 4?
Yes.
All right. So these two columns will add up how much money you pay at any given time and how much interest it will cost you at any given time. I want to look at line 12, 1 year from today, 1 year from when we start this mortgage. A year from the time we start the mortgage, we will pay this mortgage down, if we do it the bank's way, by how much money? A cumulative principal, how much money will we pay down on the principal in 1 year?
Principal $8,411.37.
And how much total interest does the bank want?
Over $26,000.
Ooh, wow. Okay, so here's my question. Since I'm going to give the bank $8,400 anyway, do I have to give it to them in 12 monthly installments?
No.
If I had it, could I give it to them in one installment on line 1?
Yeah.
If I
definitely.
did, would I be paid down to line 12 in 1 month?
Yes.
What would happen to all the interest between line 2 and line 12?
It's eliminated.
So interest payments I skip don't matter.
Okay.
Now, remember, we're doing this with $600 payments, and we're doing it, and our interest rate is what? 4.8. Let's take a look at the same at 3%. Now, here's my 3% loan. Okay, I'm going to scroll up so everybody can see it. $550,000 at 3%. I lower my mortgage payment to $23,882. So I'm saving money. So this is what the bank says: to save money to get that $2,300 payment instead of the other one. We're saving money here. So get the 3%. Let's buy it down to 3%. Okay.
Okay.
So now if we look at the 30-year numbers, we're paying less interest over 30 years. But guess what? My average client pays off in an average of 7 to 9 years, not 30. So any of these numbers that the bank gives you, they don't matter anymore because we're not going to be in the loan for 30 years.
Okay.
So we're not even listening to them. But when we get down to the payment, look at our principal payment and look at our interest payment. Even though our interest payment is smaller, look at our principal payment. So to get rid of one line on our principal payment, how much money do we have to come up with?
More money per month.
More money per month, don't we? So remember back when we on the other one where we could come up with about $8,000 and it took off 1 year worth of payments? What does $8,000 do here?
It only gets us to about 8 months.
Yes. So when you lower the interest rate, your money becomes less effective.
Okay.
And that's what most people, now listen, the person that you're getting your mortgage from won't be able to answer this question for you because the bank owners understand this very well. They don't teach it to their employees. You know now more about how a mortgage works than 99.9% of all loan officers on the planet.
Okay.
What do you think about this?
Well, I'm excited, honestly. It makes me feel a little bit better going into that.
So the next thing you want to do, is find out. So here's what P.I.L.L stands for: prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, meaning what is the amount we need to pay towards principal? And then leverage and liquidity. To leverage, meaning what is the smallest amount that we pay? What is the right time to pay it so that we can kill more interest per dollar? Because you want your money to save a ton of interest, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so let me go back to the higher interest rate of 4.8. I'm going to scroll down so that we can see line 12 and line 24. Do you have a calculator handy? If not, I'll just put one on the screen. Okay, so we just went over what would happen if we prepaid the $8,400. We'd save a ton of interest and takes off a year's worth of payments, correct?
Yes.
What if we have plenty of money in the bank? Money is no object, but I only gave you two choices because you could prepay any amount, but I'm only going to give you two choices. You could do line 12 or you could do line 24. If we do line 12, we knock off 12 payments and save this much interest. If we do line 24, where we are prepaying $17,000 and saving 52 grand and knocking off 24 payments, which one would you choose if you had plenty of money between the two?
I would do the 24.
Okay, and why is that?
24. Because I would save twice as much interest.
Okay, now here's what the banks don't tell you. Now, if I pay this and I save this, can I take my savings and divide it by what I pay so I can find out how much interest I'm saving per dollar? In other words, if I put the $26,000 into my calculator and divide it by the $8,400, will that tell me how much interest I'm saving per dollar?
Yes, it
Okay.
should.
So let's put that in. Let's go ahead and put that in your calculator. If you have it, I'm going to do it on screen so everybody can see. We're going to put in 26,216.55. We're going to divide it by 8,400, $11.37. It equals $3.11, almost $3.12. So what we just found out, for every dollar you apply to this mortgage at this point, you do not have to pay the bank $3.11 per dollar. Isn't that great to know?
It is.
So if you gave me $1 and I gave you back $3.11, how many times would you do that?
As many as I could afford.
The bank has to do the same thing. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So here's what we're talking about. Let's do line 24. Okay. Where we're going to put in, remember, it's $3.11. So we're going to put in $52,020.35. We're going to divide it by 17,235.49. And that equals, $3 and a penny. I'm actually saving less per dollar.
Okay.
So what we want is to put the right amount of money on the loan at the right time to kill the maximum amount of interest per dollar. So if you could save $3.11 per dollar, should you ever accept saving $3 and a penny per dollar?
No.
No. So it's moving the right amount at the right time. There's so much we don't understand about how amortization works. It costs us a lot of money without the education, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any other questions about how all of this works?
No. So I probably do, but I just want to make sure I'm clear on this.
Sure.
So would it be in our interest to do a yearly payment of that additional 8,400, or what would be the best way to optimize? And
All right. That is a very good question. So what you want to be able to do is how much money do we have to work with out of our budget? And when would be, now the longer you wait, the more expensive your loan gets, right?
Yeah.
But the longer you wait, the more money you have available to work with.
Also true. Yep.
So there is a nexus. There is a right time to wait with the amount of money that you have available. And there is a point at which it's called critical point analysis. How long should I wait based on how much money I'm going to have in the short run and how expensive my loan is going to get? But I want to pay at the right time based on the money I have available so I can kill the maximum amount of interest that I can. I don't want to wait too long, but I don't want to pay too early. That's a lot of math involved. And it's different for everybody. What if there's a computer that could figure all of that out for you and say, pay this much in this month on this day towards this loan? It made it that simple.
All right.
Well, there is such a program. All right. And so folks, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to point out while I'm bringing that up on the screen, we're going to point out how we can get a hold of that. You want to go to ice10k.com or click on the link above and find where it says get a savings and earnings report. So once you find out this, and then fill that information out, then you will be able to find out exactly how much interest you could save and the month, day, and year you could be debt free, because we're going to put all your information into our computer and it will tell you the month and day, the month and year you're going to be debt free, how much interest you're going to save. And our average client pays off all of their debt, not just their mortgage, but all of their debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. What do you say?
I'm excited.
Okay, so if you go, let's put it back on the screen now, and I'll show you an example of our program. And so I'm going to reset it, and this is the computer program that does all of the math. How about that? So that's what's going on. So anyway, Miss Natasha, do you have any other questions for me?
No, that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, let me know what I can do to help. Take that information down. We have a website, so you can Google P.I.L.L method, and when you Google P.I.L.L method, we take up all of the first page and most of the second page.
Okay.
In fact, we're so popular, birth control is on page 2. Okay, so listen,
right.
Get that information. I'm looking forward to working with you and your husband so that we can stop the guesswork and save a ton of money. Thank you so much. Hang around on the stage in case you have another question that comes up. But right now, folks, right now, I want to share something with you all. Just a little over a month ago, I had the opportunity to work with E.T., the hip hop preacher. Dr. Eric Thomas. He is the #1 motivational speaker on the entire planet. We held a real estate seminar in Nashville back in May, and it was a phenomenal success. So when ET was speaking to everybody was just, they were just overjoyed and excited to hear what he had to say. But at the end of his speech, he talked about, because we were, it was a money mindset conference, and it would have had a heavy real estate emphasis, mortgages and all of that. Here's what he had to say about the P.I.L.L method. Roll it.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, so what we're talking about today is, are landlords smarter than the banks? Because landlords will increase your rents over time, but bankers, if you have a mortgage, seem to want to lower your payments so you can save money. Landlords raise the rent, but bankers lower your mortgage payments. So who's smarter here? The landlords or the bankers? And if you're saving money, folks, who's losing money? Oh my goodness, we're going to show you some things here. So does anybody else have any questions about this particular question? Are the landlords smarter than the banks? Because the banks seem, if we look at this thing, seems like they're losing money every time we refinance because we're saving money. Miss Coffee Brown, how are you?
You know, God, Praise the Lord, Don. First of all, Don, you coming up in this room again, man. This is just, oh my God. I was like, what? Oh, Don. Don, you're doing a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot. Good morning, everybody.
Miss Coffee Brown, will you go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes, sir. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. Flame, how are you doing, sir?
Man, good morning. Good morning.
Listen, listen, man, we have all sorts of glitches in here that's going on in Clubhouse today. We started the room about 3 times. We're trying to get the replays on and wouldn't come on. I thought I had done it wrong, but when other people tried it, it didn't work either. And I just tried to bring you up and put a moderator badge on you. You know what? I got a red flag. It said that you weren't even in the room.
Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord.
So, Flame, listen, man, we're talking about this morning. Are landlords smarter than the banks? Okay. Are landlords smarter than the banks? Because every now and then the landlords will increase the rents. And RB, the realtor, was in here a little earlier, and she was telling us that when you do that, the reason why landlords raise the rents is to keep pace with inflation. Okay, everything goes up, so they're keeping pace with inflation. That's why they raise the rents. But bankers, every 5 to 7 years, will send you a notice to refinance to lower your payment. And then they talk about how much money you can save. So if you're saving money by refinancing, who has to be losing it, Flame? If you're saving money by refinancing, who has to be losing money?
It ain't the bank.
The bank ain't gonna lose no money for sure.
For sure. So why is it that landlords will increase how much we pay, but banks want to lower how much we pay? There's got to be something in it for them.
That's them hidden features.
So
they want us to stay trapped in that debt forever. That's what that is.
Well, listen, it's kind of funny that if your own bank, listen, folks, if your own bank, I mean, so we have some folks in here says, can you find out if somebody's asking a question, can you find out if the special for landlords with multiple mortgage, comment back soon. Oh, listen, we have people with, listen, we're going to have something special for those with multiple mortgages. So if you have multiple mortgages, go ahead and put in your request for a savings report, and I'll do something special for you if you have multiple mortgages. All right, go ahead and put in, I will do something special for you if you have multiple mortgages. All right, because we don't want, listen, if you have multiple mortgages, we're going to show you exactly how much interest you're going to save. We're going to do something special for you. Okay, so listen, and I mentioned that we were going to do something special. All right, here's what we're going to do. Number one, we just went over 6K followers or subscribers on YouTube. So we have over 6,000 people subscribed now on YouTube. And because of that, all right, for today, so today is Wednesday, and we're coming back Friday, all right, for today and Friday, if you put in your request for a savings and earnings report, it generally costs $150 for to get a consultation. We're waiving that fee for the next 2 days, for today and Friday. Today and Friday. It ends Friday at the end of the day. Okay. So if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, all right, on your mortgages. You had to have at least one mortgage to qualify for this, at least one mortgage. And if you have multiple mortgages, you also qualify for at least one mortgage, but you can have multiple mortgages. And so you will be able to not only get save on the consultation fee, but if you have multiple mortgages, we're going to show you how you can save nearly $1 million in interest you never have to pay the bank. Oh my goodness. So come on, folks, go ahead, get your savings and earnings report. And as a thank you, I want to make sure for getting us over 6,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube. We want to take off the fee for consultation for the next 2 days, for today and Friday, as a thank you. All right, folks, listen, I also want to share with you my book. All right. And we got one more giveaway. On my website, if you go to either ice10k.com or click on the link above, on my website, if you go to my website, you will find a link there that says you can download a free chapter, not my whole book, just a free chapter of the book. You can download a free chapter of my book as well for the next 2 days. For the next 2 days, you can download a free chapter of the book. Now, once you read the free chapter, go ahead and buy the book if you like it. If you like what you read, go ahead and buy the book. And you will be able to teach this not only to yourself, but to your children, maybe to your grandchildren, maybe to your nieces and nephews. Folks, we need to get this information out to the young people. We need to get it out there because we've been sold a bill of goods our entire lives. We've been told that it's a good thing to refinance these loans. And we've never thought, and I'm going to ask this question. I need you to put it in the chat. I need you to put number ones in the chat. Okay. Are you ready? Here's the question. If you have a mortgage and your own bank who has you locked in, you signed a contract for a higher interest rate, your own bank 5 to 7 years later says, oh, it's time for us to save you money. If you ever received a refinance notice from your own bank to go from a higher interest rate to a lower one, please put a number one in the chat. Put a number one in the chat. If your own, I can maybe understand a different bank, but if your own bank is, why would your own bank do that? Why would your bank, who has you locked in to a higher interest rate, offer you a lower interest rate so they can lose money? My. And you know what? It never even occurred to us. To say, why would they do that? We just jump on it with both feet and say, ooh, we're saving money. Flame, what do you have to say about that? Tell us who you are this morning.
Man, listen, you said it best, Mr. Don. You know, somebody's got to be losing money, but it ain't gonna be the bank. And you know, and they slide it in there by you paying attention to what you're paying, what you're actually gonna be paying monthly, as opposed to what you're gonna pay overall. So that goes back to the interest rate versus the interest cost, or the interest cost in general. And that's why you call the interest cancellation expert. Listen, Flame Newton here with the School of Credit, Access to Money. I'm just an author who write books, who also speaks about credit, educate myself. And all I talk about is credit. To be honest with you, I'm boring as hell. I'm just a credit guy, man. I ain't nothing no more. I'm not financial. I'm strictly credit. I'm all about using other people's money to make more money for yourself while paying their money back and repeating that process. That's it. With that being said, listen, you guys have been great. I know you guys have gotten some great information from them so far, but I'm interested in the chat this morning. To tell me, you guys, where y'all from this morning, man? Where y'all at? Somebody tell me where y'all at this morning. I want to know what cities is in here in the chat so I could talk with you guys, man. You know, is New York City in here today, or is I don't know, New York ain't gonna be here, man. They too busy doing something. I know
Lord.
I know for a fact Chicago's not in here. You know, they don't, you know, Chicago not in here. But let me know if you're from a small town, name your county. Listen, I'm in the chat. I like to pay attention over there. Y'all guys talk it up, man. I'm turned up with y'all.
Wow, wow, wow. Look, I got Texas, I got Chattanooga, I got Farmington, New Mexico, I've got online, I got Phoenix, Arizona. Listen, we got Chicago, we got Delaware in the house. Chicago again. All right, we got the DMV.
Flame, we got Chicago in the building. Flame, they in the building.
Okay.
I know. I'm here. I'm right here.
We got Texas in the building.
Come on, King.
Folks,
Texas right here.
listen, folks, I want to show you at least a couple of things when it comes to this saving money. All right. Remember, remember our premise here. Are landlords smarter than the banks? Because landlords will increase your rent. It's coming. You know that rent increase is coming, but your bank, the same bank that has you locked into a lower interest rate, is going to offer you a higher interest rate. That has you locked into that higher interest rate. They're going to offer you a lower one. They're going to tell you can save money. What? I don't get it. I don't get it when we put it out there like that. So let's put this back on the screen. I got $550,000, okay, at 4.8%. All right. Now, I want to show you what would happen to this loan in 5 to 7 years. All right. So here's what we've got. I'm going to scroll down because once you're in this loan for 5 years, all right, I have some background noise, folks. I'm going to jump out in as Coffee Brown. Will you go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks while I take care of this background noise?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. I am Coach P. Coffee Brown here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston. It is an exciting time to be in the building with the Right Reverend Don in the building, the beautiful Kenyatta Credit Goddess Flame himself, and our guest, Natasha. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is really a blessing to be here. I'm excited about what Don is doing. If you haven't followed him and you haven't followed that mansion at the top of your house, go ahead and do so now. Stay connected, stay plugged in. Remember that your hallway is always curated by the individuals that you follow. And if we say anything in this room that resonates with you and where you're headed, not where you are, but where you're headed, go ahead and give us that honored follow and connect with us. I am a certified master life coach with the John Maxwell method. For those of you that are familiar with John Maxwell, I also own a boutique. And by day, I lead a team of licensed insurance professionals here in the state of Texas, making sure that we assess risk and help you to take care of your family. So again, I'm excited to be in the building. I am truly, truly blessed and grateful. Just released another international best-selling project through my publishing house called Parenting Teens, The Tug of War to Adulthood. So you'll be able to connect with me and grab all of that and find out all you need to know about me at coffee10k.com. That is KOFFE 10k.com. Back to you, Don.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. So here's what we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. If you take a look at this loan, all right, payment number one, we have $685.66 going to principal. The next month, we have $688.40 going to principal. That's because the interest payment right here on line one is $2,200. But next month, it drops down to $2,197. It's not even $3 difference. All right. But that difference goes over to the principal. Okay. That difference goes over to the principal. So every month you pay a little less interest and a little more principal to your loan. All right. But that transfer of money is the slowest in the first 7 years. After 7 years, the amount of money that transfers from the amount of interest you pay to the principal starts to pick up faster, pick up steam, where more and more money starts to transfer over to the principal. You know what? That makes the banks nervous, So if you got more money going to principal, then that's less money coming to them. And they said the way that this works is more money comes to us in the first 7 years. So if that is the case, what are the banks trying to do every 7 years? They're trying to make sure that you get back to the point where more money comes to them in the first 7 years on your mortgage. What? And when you take a look at the entire payment, take a look at the entire payment of principal and interest, where 70% of your payment goes to interest and about 30% goes to principal. Every time you make a payment, it chips away at that. So that the percentage that goes to the bank gets smaller and the percentage that goes to you gets larger. And what the banks know is that that's the slowest in the first 7 years. They want to keep that, if they can, they want to make sure that 70% of what you're paying goes to them. Now, here's the thing, and here's what you need to understand. And I learned this from my barber. Okay, here we go. Now, what are we talking about? Are landlords smarter than the banks? Watch this now. Watch this. My barber, this guy makes money all hand over fist. He turned his whole barber shop into a cash machine. I mean, every part of that. If he could charge you for sitting in there, he would. Okay. So he was the first guy I knew that had his own payphone. I'm dating myself now. He had his own payphone. He bought a payphone as opposed to putting AT&T's payphone in there. He says, listen, I want those dimes. I want those quarters. Okay. So he put his own payphone in. He put his own candy machine in. He's got pinball machine. And listen, he says, out of all of this I've got going on here, Don, I'm sitting in this chair. And he says, which thing do you think makes me the most money? And I thought about it. I said, well, maybe it's the pop machine. He says, nope, not that. I said, well, what is it then? He said, it's the gumball machine. The gumball machine? Those gumballs they only cost a quarter. Yes, he said, but they only cost me 3 cents. For every 3 pennies he puts out, somebody gives him 25. The bank doesn't care how much your payment is, as long as the majority of your payment comes to them. They don't care if your mortgage payment was $10. They wouldn't care, as long as 9 of those dollars went to them. Do you get it now? So in the beginning, the percentage of your payment that goes to the banks is very high. And the longer you stay in this loan, that percentage gets chipped away. They want to get that percentage back up. So let's take a look at this for the first. And here's what that's one thing, but here's another thing that happens in 7 years. I'm scrolling down. Okay. 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. That's payment 84. Payment 84 on this mortgage. You will pay this loan down by, all right, $68,292.02. But you're going to pay $174,000 in interest in just 8 years. Folks, that is a lot of money. That's over $230,000, almost $240,000 paid out. But you get $68,000, the bank gets $174,000. What? And now this is when they say, I want to save you money. After you've already paid them $174,000 in interest. Now it's time for you to save money. So let's just say we can get this thing down to 3%. So now we're going to take this. Here's how much we owe now: $481,707.98. Okay. So we paid our loan down. Now it's time to refinance. All right. So we're going to refinance, and they offered us, instead of 4.8, we're almost 2 points lower. We're going to get it down to 3%. All right. So we're going to take this amount here. $481,707.98. We're going to put that into our calculator. That's the wrong thing. Get that out of there. Delete that. All right. So let me copy that again. See if I can copy this. 481,000 copy. All right. Go to this one. Let's see if we can put that in here. Paste it. There we go. We'll get rid of the comma because this program doesn't like the comma. All right. And now we're at 3%. Wait a minute. I forgot something. The bank wants to charge you about $10,000 for this. Okay. So we're at not 481,000, but $491,000. All right. That we're going to refi at 3%. Now I need you to look at the payments here. Okay. So we're going to calculate that. Now our payment is $2,073.06. Our old payment was $2,885.66. So we're going to put that on the screen. See how much money we're saving. Come on now, because we love saving money. So we'll calculate that. So we're going to put in $2,885.66. All right. And then we're going to put in the new payment of $2,073. Okay. So we're going to subtract $2,073.06. So we're saving now. What? Is that right? $812? Is that right? $812? Man, oh man, $812. So the bank is saving us $812 on our new 30-year loan. Oh, wait a minute now. I'm in this old loan for 7 years. I get a brand new 30-year loan, but I'm saving $800 a month. So, but I didn't realize that if I'm already in the loan for 7 years, a 30-year loan that I'm trying to pay off, I've got 23 years left, and I just refied it to get a new 30-year loan. I've just created a 37-year mortgage. That's number one. We don't realize that. If I'm in the loan for 7 and I refinance to 30, I got a brand new loan. 37 years now. 37 years. And Americans refinance every 5 to 7 years. All right. And I know somebody's going to put in the chat, but if they at 23 years, but what if they refinance to 23? Still, what I'm getting ready to show you still is going to be something we need to consider. All right. So now we're at 491. Now I need you to go back down and take a look at the percentages here. Still $843 going to principal, $1,000. Now, and at the new loan, look at this new loan. Do you see what the principal payments are? $845. Do you see what the principal payments were before? $688. So even though I owe less, even at 30 years, my principal payment is still higher than it was before, which makes it harder to pay the loan off faster. I'm refinancing. I'm lowering my payment by $800 a month, but I just made the loan harder to pay off faster because my principal payment is higher than it was. What in the world is going on here, folks? Can you all see that? Wow. Can you all see what's going on?
With our emotions, Don. They're playing with our emotions.
Okay, so they're making us feel one way, but they're hitting us over the head the other way. And listen, if I can save $800 a month, you know how good that's going to make me feel? But I just increased my principal payment, which makes now I got to pay $10,000 to get rid of 1 year. If I wanted to prepay this to knock off 1 year, I got to pay $10,000. On the other loan, at the higher interest rate, only $8,000 would knock off a year. Now it takes 10, and I owe less money. How in the world are they doing this to us? And we don't notice this. Are landlords smarter than the banks? That's the question for today, because the bank wants to lower my payment by $800. When has your landlord ever lowered your rent by $800? Anybody? Anybody? And now, by lowering the payment, they're actually going to get more money out of us. So now, here's where we are. Here's where we are. We're in our new mortgage now. We've got a lower payment, but the principal payment is higher, which makes it harder to get rid of. So watch this. Watch this. It cost us $10,000. It cost us $10,000 for the refi. Okay, watch this. At our lower interest rate, how long it's going to take us? It's going to take us 1 year to pay off the closing costs. And for 12 months, we haven't put a dime on principal. Remember, we rolled in the closing costs on this loan of $10,000. It takes us 1 year to pay off $10,000. And I need you to look immediately to the right on this. If you're new to the room, and you want to see this, go to ice10kvideos.com, ice10kvideos.com, and you can watch this. All right. You can see this and click on the live. So we got $10,000. We just paid off $10,000. Is there anybody on the stage or wants to come up who's looking at this that can tell me how much interest we're going to pay at the lower interest rate just to pay off the fee? Does anybody know? Can you put it in the chat? How much interest are we going to pay just to pay off the fee? Anybody looking at this? While you're typing that in, somebody wanted to know, how do we download the chapter up from the book? Yeah, somebody put in there 14K. You're exactly right, 14K. So go to my website. If you go to my website, you will see, just scroll down and you'll see the link where you can, you'll find that link where you can download a chapter. In fact, if you get the savings and earnings report, it's on that page too, where you can just look in the lower right-hand corner. You can see how you can download a chapter of the book. All right. And you get that for free. All right. So anyway, here's what we're talking about. I just borrowed $10,000 from the bank because they rolled that fee into my mortgage, which means you've borrowed, you made a loan within the loan. Anytime you roll the fee into the mortgage, that's a loan within the loan. Okay, you got your main loan, how much you borrowed, and then you add another one on top of that, the $10,000, because they never ask you to pay that up front. They never ask you to pay it up front. They say, roll it into the loan. It's only going to raise your payment just a few dollars. Just roll it in. You don't have to come out of pocket for that. So what just happened? To pay off $10,000 cost you over $14,000 in interest. If your credit union offered you a sale, okay, now we offered you a special today that we're going to take $150 off to get our analysis done, to do a consultation, okay? And even that is a discount. Our regular consultation is $1,200 an hour. We get $1,200 an hour, okay, because we save people so much money. So just to have that $150, that's great. But I'm even getting rid of that. So we have a special too. And so what if your credit union offered you a special saying, oh, borrow $10,000 from us, pay it back in a year, and we're only going to charge you $14,000 in interest on that? Would you take that deal? I put it in the chat. Put that in the chat if you would take that deal. All right. Anybody take that deal from your credit union, borrow $10,000 for a year, but pay 14 grand in interest? Anybody? All right. Somebody was saying, putting it in wrong. It's ICE, the number 10, the letter K ICE, the number 10, the letter K videos.com. I'm so sorry. I should be more precise. ICE, the number 10, and the letter K videos.com, and you can see what's going on here. So what we just showed is that the bank wants to charge you 10,000, so charge you 14 grand in interest on that. So if you borrow $1, if you borrow $1 and pay back that dollar plus $1 in interest, isn't that 100% interest? Isn't that 100% interest? If you borrow $10,000 and pay back $10,000 in interest, isn't that 100% interest? But what if you borrow $10,000 and pay back $14,000 in interest? Isn't that 140%? This is how banks get people who have perfect credit to pay 140% interest on a loan and not even realize it. They got perfect credit. Do you know that's higher? That's higher than payday loans. This is a person with an 800 credit score, folks, and they're paying interest like a payday loan. I'm telling you. So when the bank offers you a way to save money, $800 off of the, listen, folks, they're going to make that money back and more. I mean, just on the fee. Not only that, but they've increased the percentage of how much of the payment goes to them for another 7 years. And you've already paid them $172,000 in interest. Flame, come on in here, man. Talk to the people while I get a drink of water.
Man, that's right, man. I hope you guys understand that. I hope you understand that clear about how that stuff works. You guys are understanding that how you can actually have a home at $300,000 that you actually bought. And in some references, Mr. Don would tell you that at the end of that 30-year note, you end up paying close to $1 million for that home. When you start adding these things in. So it's definitely not about the payment. It's all about the cost of what you're doing. You guys have been phenomenal today, paying along. I just want to see, let's give Mr. Don some support. What he's been doing, he's been pouring out into us. So let's pour into him. One of the ways that we can pour back into him as he drinks his sips of water, let's give him all the water he needs by punching the number 9 in the chat. I don't know about you guys, but on a personal level, I've received a lot of information today. I want to see you guys go to the chat, hit that number 9 button. Let's give him the support right now. So as he takes that sip of water and as it goes down his body, it fuels him with energy to come back and deliver it like he wants to. As well, I'll look at the bottom, and I know it's been kind of glitching this morning. That's why I kind of been hesitant. But at the same time, you guys, just off a digital currency provider, let's let people know about what we into today. Let's let them know. So maybe your share could be the share that stops someone from entering and not paying it in the correct manner. Maybe they could come into this room and learn just like how you're learning, and you might not have to able to explain to them, and they can actually learn from Mr. Don. Listen, this is what I'm asking you guys to do now. Is I want to see you guys right now. I want to see you guys go down to the bottom and share the room. Let me see you share the room. I got 15 shares in here, right? What I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for each and every person. There's 38 people in the room. Let's get this thing up to 30 shares. Look, let's get to 30 shares. I think that we can at least do that for them. 30 shares. Come on, let's get there. Let's get there. I got 17 shares. Is Chicago really in here? Or because the Chicago folks that I know, they share the room. That's what I do know. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, is Texas in the building? Because everybody that I know in Texas, they're so giving and wanting people to taste this pie and eat this cake and eat this food. They love to share. So just like how they like to share this room, let's find out. You might be from somewhere else. You're not from Texas. You just driving through Texas, because the Texas folks I know share the room. You know what I mean? So with that said, back to you, Mr. Don.
Thank you very much, Flame. Listen, folks, we're getting ready to we're wrapping things up here. I'm sorry for the late start. The app was glitching. We were trying to get it figured out so we can we preserve the replays. But if you're interested in getting this information to the people that you want, go to our YouTube channel. It's there. This whole thing is going to be there on YouTube. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitter, and it's on LinkedIn. They can watch the whole thing. We just have lost the replays. I'm sorry, the replays on Clubhouse this morning. But we're going to be back here on Friday. Now, remember, we are for today because we've gone over 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. To celebrate, we're taking off $150 off so that you can get a consultation if you have at least one mortgage. And we're also doing that for people who have multiple mortgages. All right. So, and we're going to show you the month, day, and year you can be debt free. So how do you do that? Get a savings and earnings report. Click on the link above, or if you're online, you can go to ICE 10K reports, ICE 10K reports, and get there. Or you can even go to ice10k.com. All right. ice10kreports.com or ice10k.com and get your savings and earnings report. Once that is filled out, someone from my staff will give you a call and confirm your numbers, and then set up your consultation. So you want a coupon code? I'm giving it to you now. Your coupon code is simply ICE, 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 Interest Cancellation Expert. Just put in ICE as a coupon code. Once you get to your financial form and you're putting in your data, all right, we're going to ask you, how did you hear about this? How did you hear about the P.I.L.L method? And instead of saying YouTube or Facebook or even Clubhouse, you're going to scroll down to other, and that will allow you to type in ICE, ICE, okay? ICE. And then we're going to give you $150 off on the consultation. So you'll be able to learn the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free. And that's all because of your support to get us over 6,000 subscribers. Thank you so very much. And don't forget about the book, folks. Don't forget about the book. And I've got something special for you. You can download a free chapter of the book by going to my website, and you can get to the website from those cards as well. Or you can just go to pillmethod.com. All right. Go to pillmethod.com. And then as you are looking at that, you will be able to find the link to download a free chapter of the book, or you could just buy the book. All right. Because once you read the first chapter, you're going to want the book anyhow. But we got 2 giveaways, free chapter of the book and $150 off. Friday, we're going to be back here on Friday. All right. We got 10 minutes left. We're going to be back here on Friday. And on Friday, we're going to be talking about down payment deception. How we are deceived into making large down payments on loans. What does that mean? Down payment deception, we're going to be talking about on Friday. You want to be here for that. You do not want to miss it. We're going to be talking about something that how is making a down payment, how is the bank deceiving us by making down payments? If you want to hear about that, you want to be back here on Friday and invite some of your friends, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have that glitch fixed. Clubhouse will fix that glitch and we can get started on time. So anyway, does anybody have any questions about what we've gone over today? Have we talked about fully and made it understandable that landlords are smart, but banks are smart as well by getting us to believe we are doing well by refinancing and believing we're saving money when they're making money hand over fist. We just showed how a bank can get us to pay 140% on a loan, and we don't even realize it. They just got us to get from a 30-year loan to refinance into a 37-year loan, and we didn't even realize it. They got us to make sure that when we were getting a greater percentage of our payment coming to us and paying down principal, they got us to start the clock all over again, where a greater percentage of our payment goes back to them. And not only that, but they got us to make our principal payment higher by lowering the interest rate. Makes it harder to pay the loan off faster and cheaper every time we lower the interest rate. Folks, there's more ways that they make money on this thing. I just don't have time to go over them all. But watch the replay. Watch the replay on this, and you'll be able to see that these numbers don't lie. So to cap this whole thing off, let me just say this. Right now, we are at higher interest rates than what we were used to just a few months ago. And the interest rates are going to continue to go up. Don't wait for them to go back down. As the interest rates go up, I'm going to give you a little secret here. All right, I'll give you a little secret. As the interest rates go up, there may be less competition to get the house you want, because other people may be waiting for the interest rates to go down. You already know that if you can afford... What now?
That's right.
You already know that at the higher interest rate, you are better off because you have received a little bit of an education on how amortization actually works. So get your property now at the higher interest rate. So if you can afford the payment, your principal payment is tiny. Listen, every time this interest rate goes up, look at here. So right now, we're going to put in the 550. All right, I'm going to put in the 550. All right, duplicate the tab. I'm going to put this back on the screen. Oh my gosh, we're going to put in $550,000. All right, 550,000. All right. Okay, that's 555,000. Okay, 550,000. All right, let's go ahead and put this. Let's go ahead and share our screen. All right, a calculator. All right, and so 550,000, and we're going to put it in at 6.5%. Okay, the interest rates are going up. The interest rates are going up, folks. But what I want to show you something is, if you can afford this payment, if you can afford the payment on $550,000, then look at the print. Here's your payment, $3,476.37. Okay, that's your payment at 6.5%. Look at your principal payment now, $499, $500. And they said, well, Don, look at these interest payments here, $2,900. Remember, interest payments you skip don't matter. Look at this. A prepayment of $6,000. A prepayment of $6,000 knocks off a year's worth of payments and saves over $30,000 in interest you never have to pay. So $3,000 prepaid knocks off half a year and saves you 17 grand. Okay. So the higher the interest rate, the more effective is your money. So don't be afraid to get in the market at the higher interest rates if you can afford the payment. All right. Now, here's the other thing that's being taught. And I'm going to go over this when we go over down payment deception, okay, on Friday. Here's the strategy. Get in at the higher interest rates. So when the interest rates get better, you can refinance into the lower interest rates. We're going to show you how that's a fallacy. Okay. We're going to show you, should you refinance to the lower interest rates if you get locked into this higher interest rate? Because it's always a good time to get into real estate. It's always a good time to get into real estate. But right now we're paying the higher interest rates. Let's see how we can make that higher interest rate work for us. And should we listen to all the professionals that say when the interest rates go down, should we refinance into a lower interest rate? We're going to talk about that on Friday as we talk about down payment deception. How are we deceived? So, folks, thank you so much for being here this morning. We want all of our moderators to say goodbye to you. But if you're watching us online, we want to be able to say goodbye to you in good time. But I want to hear from as we are filling out our paperwork online so that we can get our savings report done, get a savings and earnings report done so that you can get your $150 off a consultation. This only today and only until Friday. I'm offering it today, but it goes away on Friday. Okay. So you got today, you got Thursday, and Friday night, this goes away. So get your stuff in early. All right. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Take advantage of it. All right. And get your $150 off. But I need you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas, what he has to say about the pill method. And we'll say goodbye to you, everybody online. See you on Friday.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.